All right, check it out. Just got this back from ABF. It is the 2022 RZR Pro R4 Ultimate. I did an intro on this thing a while back and then sent it to ABF, but all I really have done myself was the disassembly. These are just some takeoff expedition wheels and tires. They're in the 30s. I just used them as like trailer and shop tires. So appreciate my buddy letting me borrow those from his expedition. But here's the wheels and tires that I'm gonna put on it. I'll do more on these later, but these are 35-inch SS360s. I got some other stuff while I was on that trip, but anyways, I basically handed it to Aaron and Asher at ABF, the group there. They're really good, and it took a while because of all the stuff. Usually ordering parts. I think the seats came in wrong once, and then had problems with the paint coming out right and stuff like that. And I think their painter got put in the hospital or whatever. But anyways, they're committed to getting it right, though, and that's what I really like about them. We're actually still missing a part in the back, so there's like a radiator shroud, or not a muffler exhaust shroud that goes there, and that piece, the paint, there was something wrong with it, and so they had to have it redone, and it wasn't ready yet. So, I also. I've noticed this thing sounded different from day one, but they pointed out to me that this factory exhaust system is hollowed out. I knew I was missing a bolt, and I had a funny resonance and rattle and stuff, but they pointed out that the muffler had been cut open and gutted, so I didn't know that. I'm going to change that. I don't know what I'm going to do, but something. So the main thing I wanted from ABF was all of their stuff. So the cage, all the vent covers, the trunk, the windshield, the roof, and then they do the labor. They resell they're dealer for a bunch of other parts. So like the seats is a big deal. Seats and harnesses from PRP, and then these doors I think are from Moto Armor, and then they did the interior liners and stuff. So. They're familiar with Pro Rs, or really all RZRs. I'm still not real familiar with RZRs, but they just knock it out of the park on their detail. And this was kind of rushed towards the end because I'm getting ready for a Glamis trip, like literally putting it on the trailer tomorrow, putting new different wheels and tires on it, and then going. So also, when you take, or whenever I take a full build to ABF, they take after disassembly, they send basically the whole car over to Specialized UTV, a friend of mine named David, and he does all the wiring, and I've talked about him before. They've done work together on all the RZRs I've done from them, and so he does all the electronics. So there's a Switch Pro, all the radios, and everything that's integrated, as well as all the lighting and stuff. So it's really nice, and I like the little pocket they found for the alien lasers. I think that's cool. This 4-seater does have rear speakers from the factory, so they just kind of like clip in by hand. You can clip them in and out. There's no tools necessary, and I wanted the ability to put them in and out. I don't have those on my 2-seater. I don't really want them, but anyways, so I've got like a shakedown I got to do. I got to put the other wheels and tires on, and then I'm going to go just zip it around in Little Sahara before we go to Glamis with it. And there's some other plans, some other goodies for this thing as well. But as far as little progress, or a big progress here in getting it back from ABF, the seats were kind of a focal point for me at the Sand Sports Super Show this year. I went to the PRP booth, to the Simpson booth, etc., back and forth, and looking for the right combination, and this is what we came up with. We just wanted the whole thing to have a real red, white, and blue presentation. This is branded for our company, America's Oasis, so they have our logo put in here. I kind of wish, well, I do wish this logo was up here. I don't mind the PRP logo. I wish it was flipped, though. It's okay. It still looks good. These are heated seats. The front ones are heated seats, and they have lumbar support. So if you've never had a seat with lumbar support, you got a little air bung that you can air up the seat, which is really nice. It's pretty neat. PRP also offers a new cooling feature that is not available if you get lumbar. So I decided not to do lumbar. Got the Viper shifter from ABF. They put that in for me. And then this really cool, it's like the Gator deck, I think is what it's called, boat deck liner. So we originally wanted white and red stripes on one side, and then I wanted blue with white stars on the other side. And long story short, the company doesn't have white, or they ran out of white, or it was going to be like 6 weeks to get white or something like that. So we just swapped out white for black. So the red and black is obvious, stripes. But then on this side, instead of doing a blue background with black stars, we decided to do a black background with blue stars. And we had some discussion as to whether or not the stars should just be outlined like this, or if they should be solid blue. And this is what we settled on. It looks good when you're looking straight on it. So the doors, have the same pattern, so it kind of flip-flops from left to right. So the blue stars look really cool when you're looking straight on them. But when you look at them at an angle like this, you lose them. You don't see them quite as much. So the roof is visible when you're in the car, but when you're standing outside, it's not as much. So I got to clean it up. And like I say, I still got a bunch of, not a bunch, but a few other things I'm going to do to it. So there will be more on this build. This is a branded vehicle for the company, so there's going to be some decals on it. I'm not necessarily going to wrap the whole thing, but there's going to be some decals. So I just kind of want to give a progress update, a big step, and of course this beautiful paint. They're looking at their invoice. The paint job is the single most expensive line item, and then next, of course, is the cage. But the paint job and the commitment to getting paint right is higher than I anticipated. My red car had some body panels painted. I told them when I gave them this car, I wanted just diarrhea of blue. So these are normally like a rough plastic gray finish, some of these pieces, and getting that smooth and getting it painted is hard, and it takes some skill and some experience. So all of those items are not painted on my red car. The rocker panels, those are not painted on my red car. Those are still gray. The factory painted pieces like this and the front fenders, and then of course these are aftermarket doors that are painted as well. It's pretty fancy. I love it. Shows really nice, and that's the goal, of course. So this paint color might be familiar to RZR people because it is the same color that came on RZR Turbo S's, and I think it started in 2019. So it looks amazing in sunlight. And then the metal parts that are powder coated, so like this, and my mirrors up there, and the other vent covers, those are prismatic powder coating, Illusion Blueberry. In the sun, they're a pretty close match. The metallic looks good. When you're not in the sun, like in the shop or indoors or even in the shade, the powder coating looks significantly lighter. The paint is much richer. So I may or may not change some of those. Like the mirrors, I had these mirrors done as well as the beadlock wheel rings. I didn't get those items from ABF. I already had them, and I had them powder coated with my guy locally. And I think he just put it on thinner or something. So I might change some of those things. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you feel like I should do maybe some more white or red accents on these little items. So I'm gonna get a color change on springs, maybe sway bar links, toe links, and also these rear radius rods. I want to change some of those, and I was thinking I was going to do them all illusion blueberry, but now I'm thinking I might do white or red to keep the whole red, white, and blue look. So let me know what you think. If you want to continue following this build, and then you want to see this vehicle in person at America's Oasis in Winoka, Oklahoma, right by the Little Sahara State Park, like and subscribe, and we'll see you around. Thanks for watching.